All right, Hanson, thank you so much for being here today from Flowdesk and Hypefest 2026.
Let's go. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here. It's been an awesome day so far.
Hasn't it? Hey,
Yes.
I haven't been out there too much, but every time I pop out, it's just I'm seeing so many people chatting. We've got a lot of notable people around here that I'm seeing too. Even looking on the panels and whatnot, I was like, yeah, you were on a panel earlier today.
I was on multiple, but it's been awesome. It's like very fun to kind of reconnect with people you've known from the industry, and also meet a lot of new faces. For the first time, a lot of people have the fun PFPs and stuff. So getting to meet people right face to face like this is just an awesome way to connect with the community.
Yeah, 100%. So for Flowdesk here, what has stood out, I guess, for you about Hyperliquid that has made it kind of an interesting place for allocating time, energy, resources, and liquidity into this ecosystem?
A great question. Our kind of journey as a firm started in summer of 2024 when a lot of us kind of individually were exploring. We've all been in the space for a long time. We like to trade, right? We work at a trading firm, and so a couple of us went down the rabbit hole personally, and then we were like, all right, this is the real deal. This is not just another kind of perp dex. This is a very major thing that's happening, changing the industry permanently. And so we kind of allocated firm resources on the trading infrastructure side, on the investment side with our own balance sheet. So we're investors in a bunch of different teams within the ecosystem as well. And then that ultimately led to not only supporting Hyperliquid on our OTC desk, our institutional client base, but also, now we run a public node. It's called Flowdesk. And so we're an active kind of governance community member. Obviously, kind of sponsoring events like this, we really want to kind of give back to an ecosystem that we think has given so much to the industry.
It sure has. And that's wonderful to hear. A lot of Hyperliquid alignment here within all of this. So, yeah, amazing. As far as, the labs, I guess, has not always been great for kind of helping with partnerships and liquidity deals and whatnot. What's been kind of the strategy for you guys for deploying capital into the Hyperliquid ecosystem?
So that's another great question. I think, taking a step back, a lot of how a lot of market makers in crypto, Flowdesk included, one of our business lines is working with exchanges directly in a designated market making or DMM style format. That might be a contractual relationship where we have strict KPIs and different liquidity we have to meet, and we'll get paid to do so on a monthly basis, or there's a pool that we're kind of participating in. And Hyperliquid obviously doesn't have that by design, which is I think amazing. So that was probably initial friction when kind of bringing back the opportunity, from a sales business perspective to the trading team, because the kind of default in crypto is, okay, what's the KPIs? What are the metrics? How are we going to get paid for providing our liquidity here? And, Hyperliquid basically took the rapid other approach, no market makers, no special deals. It's kind of like you got to have skin in the game. And, that was initial friction, but, ultimately very beneficial, I guess, bandwidth allocation perspective, right, from an airdrop perspective, and just trading activity on the exchange you can take advantage of as a market maker. And so that was I guess their decision I think has played out quite well, and they were really in position to do so because of HLP. They kind of had their own market maker, right, that was open sourced, very great strategy, obviously, that Jeff and his team built before, and kind of open source for the community to use. So they didn't need to pay market makers, basically. They had their own one that they also open sourced to everyone to participate in.
Yeah, that was so cool to be able to participate in the HLP. And, we'd seen some other models that had, kind of prefaced before it, but the HLP itself was just incredible.
Yep.
And I was happy to be a part of it in the early days when the numbers were way bigger. And
yes.
Still though, to be able to, that concept of hey, you can participate and you're effectively, like you said, you're being a market maker as somebody from the outside that can just allocate and
no, it's awesome. It's a great ethos, kind of open sourcing permissionless finance applications for everyone. It's an awesome mission. It's a reason why a lot of people got into crypto, myself included.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Yeah, I find myself in that same kind of boat where I'm like, hey, sometimes I look at things, we're losing the plot a little bit.
Yep.
And it's nice to try and bring back those kind of let's call it the older roots, or the original ethos of
couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so it's wonderful to see people aligning with that, and yourself included here. So wonderful. Now, as far as I guess other things that you're excited about here for Hyperliquid within the ecosystem, and even stuff that you guys have kind of got planned or looking forward to.
Yeah, no, big question. There's a lot to be excited about in the ecosystem. I think, the kind of sentiment just from being around, talking with people, and kind of listening to the other panelists and speakers is, for me, what I'm most excited about as a kind of step function catalyst for Hyperliquid is going to be coin margin. And why I kind of want to, I guess, harp on that a little bit is because it unlocks a new cohort of users who have never had a reason to trade on Hyperliquid before. because they won't trade unless they can use their Bitcoin as collateral.
Yes.
It's not, maybe they want to trade, they want to try it out, but they just are unable to use the products that they require. And so the closer that we can get to closing that kind of SexDex product parity on the spectrum is going to really unlock this next wave of new users to Hyperliquid, which I think is going to unlock, more fees, more revenue, obviously bigger buybacks, like the kind of whole flywheel effect, can really get going.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up there, too. That's something I feel
it's underpriced right now.
I feel like that is underpriced there, and just totally off of so many radars, because I've had friends that have been like, hey, come trade on Hyperliquid.
Right.
I've been watching them use so many other exchanges and sexes, and I'm just like, oh, it's cringe. And they're like, well, no, I simply won't, because I don't want to hold USDC.
Right.
Or I don't want to hold USD, I should say. I shouldn't say, they don't want to hold stable coins.
Right.
They want to purely be able to, use the asset that they believe in, and they can, they can manage their trades, and they can manage their, portfolios around all that stuff.
Or, maybe they want Tether or USD, but now that's kind of being an opportunity with the HIP-3 markets too, right? So, before maybe there's, Tether is very large in Asia, right? It's the apex kind of stable coin for quote assets in the Asian exchanges. And a lot of those users trust Tether. They've been using it every day. They want to use Tether. And now, there's HIP-3 deployers that are Tether denominated. That's going to bring, net new users as well to Hyperliquid.
Also true.
But the bigger unlock is the coin margin for those traders that just require it.
Yeah, I think so. And it'd be amazing for, Bitcoiners, for example, that they come over and say, hey, I just want the price exposure to Bitcoin. I want that. I keep that. I trade against it.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And the synergies with basis trading and everything that unlocks too from a cash perspective and balance sheet optimization for a market maker and trade firm like us is just it's paramount to our operations.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you very much for coming on here today, and wonderful, nice attire.
Yeah,
here,
thank you. Yeah, great minds think alike.
Yeah, great minds think alike. Exactly. So, all right, with that, Hyperliquid.
Thank you.